We almost have enough money for Contagion, which is going to be the next item we pick up. We're going to go ahead and use our abilities. We're about to transform. We use our 1. We're going to go ahead and knock her back. We use our ultimate, but she used her ultimate to avoid it. We get her with the basic, and we're able to clean her up. What a do, Scooby Boo, it's your boy SeanyB Gaming, and today we have a viewer request to play CuChulainn in solo. If you are new to the channel, I upload 6 to 7 times a week. I add some commentary to a game that I've already played with the intention of seeing what went right and what went wrong, and hopefully there's something that we can learn together. If you are a returning viewer, CuChulainn just recently received a buff to his 1, reducing its cooldown, so we're going to try it out and see how it goes. So let's go ahead and review CuChulainn's abilities. I think the best place to start is going to be his passive. All MP5, mana, and mini heals are going to be applied to CuChulainn's health. CuChulainn does not have any mana or a mana pool. Instead, he has a rage pool. So whenever we pick up this blue buff, we're not going to be getting MP5. That's actually going to be converted to HP5. So whenever CuChulainn uses an ability, it's going to consume a little bit of his rage, but if you land your ability on minions or enemy god, you're actually going to gain more rage than you lost. After CuChulainn reaches 85 rage for 3 seconds, he's going to go berserk. While berserk, he's going to gain power and a health shield. So we're about to go berserk right now. We're going to start poking this afro. We get over to 1 in the berserk mode, which we're going to go over in just a second. I think we're actually going to be able to get her and get the first blood right here.
There goes the first victim.
Easy peasy. So we're going to go ahead and rotate to the totem. CuChulainn is very strong early game because he can transform, and he essentially has 4 abilities at level 2. So CuChulainn's 1. CuChulainn's going to thrust his spear forward, damaging all enemies. Successfully hitting enemies or minions is going to restore 5 rage and 8 for a god, a max of 18. Barbs from the spear are going to stick to the opponent and reduce their healing for 4 seconds. And then while CuChulainn is in his berserk form, CuChulainn is going to slam his massive arm down, damaging and rooting all enemies in front of him. The healing reduction from his 1 is 50%, which is a very strong anti-heal. We're going against Afro, so the fact that we can use a 50% anti-heal on Afro without having to build any anti-heal is pretty huge. So if we hit 5 gods in a whole minion wave, the max amount of rage we're going to get is 18 from our 1, so there is a limit. CuChulainn's 2 is Vent Ager. Whenever you use this ability, it's going to consume some rage, and whenever you damage enemies with this ability, it is actually not going to give you rage. So if you are above 85 rage and you don't want to transform into the berserk mode, you can use your 2 to vent some anger, and that's going to reduce your rage meter without stacking it up from damaging enemies. While you're in your berserk mode, the berserk mode CuChulainn is automatically going to vent anger, so he's just going to do tick damage around him. This ability also gives you 5% movement speed, and it does damage per tick every 0.5 seconds. So we can see that Afro is pretty weak right here. We're going to get to the third ability. Tsukiyomi is on us. We're going to go ahead and use our ultimate that knocks him up. We're going to use our 1, get a little bit of damage. Right here we're probably too aggressive. We're trying to fight instead of trying to retreat. We're actually fighting into a 2v1 where Afro can just heal him up, so very unintelligent pressure. I feel strong, I feel like I kind of want to test it out, but at the same time, Tsukiyomi's pretty strong. Well, we were able to send him back, and we're in our berserker mode, so we're just going to go ahead and clear this wave. Maybe get some poke. Looks like we're going to go for the third kill. CuChulainn's third ability, CuChulainn is going to leap. There is a circle around him, and then there's going to be a small line in front of him. If you use this ability and it hits a minion, it's going to restore 5 rage. If you hit enemy god, it's going to restore 8 rage for a max of 18. So if you hit 2 minions and a god, you're going to get the maximum amount of rage from your 3. And then whenever CuChulainn is in his berserker form, CuChulainn is going to dash forward, stunning and driving all enemies back. So it's kind of like a Hercules push. CuChulainn's ultimate, in his regular form, he's going to spin around and knock up all enemies. Successfully hitting an enemy minion with this ability is going to restore 10 rage, and it's going to be 26 rage for a enemy god. And the maximum amount of rage you can get from using this ability is 36. In his Berserker form, CuChulainn is going to yell, damaging all enemies around him, and it's going to cause them to tremble. So with CuChulainn, we're going to go ahead and take a look at his build. Since we are going against a magical dealer, we are going to be going into Runic Shield right after Warrior's Blessing. I find that Runic Shield is most valuable, that earlier on you can get it. The only problem with going Runic Shield as a first item is we are very susceptible to CuChulainn rotating into solo lane. And as a solo lane, sometimes you get games where the jungler is constantly rotating, other games he doesn't show up at all. So we kind of have to make a note on how often CuChulainn is rotating to our lane. If it was just me versus this Afro, I'd stomp this Afro. I think CuChulainn makes some pretty good plays coming up. We're going to go ahead and keep high pressure onto the Afro, get some basics. We could have ulted her, but instead we're going to stick to the minion wave, try to get her to come out just a little bit more. That is a Chulainn ult. She's not wearing her blue, so her blue might still be up. It might be worth checking. CuChulainn ults us, we dash in at a terrible time. We're going to go ahead and ult. Afro uses her ultimate. CuChulainn was using his 2, so he was knock-up immune, and I go down. So, right there, that was a good play by his jungler. I feel like I messed that up. I got shot by his CuChulainn ult, and then jumped in. If I had taken that half second to register that I was getting hit by CuChulainn, I probably would have dashed towards my tower instead of towards the enemy tower. But that sets us back just a little bit. We're going to use our 3 to get to the lane a little bit quicker. So we were at 25 rage. If you are below 25 rage, your rage is going to start to regen every couple of seconds until it reaches 25 rage.
Your middle tower is under attack.
The developers want to make sure that you can use your abilities with CuChulainn, so if you have no rage, they don't want you to have to go push a minion wave to try to get some rage up to use an ability. We're going to go ahead and leap onto this Afro, start hitting some basics. That knockback, pretty good. It's going to save her. Our blue is up. She is wearing her blue, so their blue is probably not up. They probably got it right after they got me in solo, the CuChulainn and Afro. We're going to start working on it. If I'm bad to make it, great for him. If not, we're not really going to wait. We pick up our blue, which is going to be converted to HP 5.
Enemy missing left.
We do have our ultimate. I feel like we could probably be a little aggressive here. Always be keeping track of your rage meter. Right now we are almost at 80, which means we are on the verge of transforming. We're going to transform.
Be careful left.
Probably could have vented some anger and held off on my transformation, but it's going to allow me to clear wave very quickly. And then we're going to rotate to the Totem of Q. Whenever CuChulainn is in his Berserker form, you should try to ult as often as possible with him in his Berserker form. It has a relatively low cooldown, and by the time you make it to Berserker form, usually it is off of cooldown, and we're able to smack the Afro. We get pretty weak, take a few tower shots, but we're able to dive her under tower. We're going to clear this wave up a little bit. CuChulainn here. We're going to use our 3 to dash away. We miss his Shadow Steel, but he hits us with the ranged Dark Moon. It's not Shadow Steel. It's the Dark Moon Shuriken. So his Dark Moon Shuriken is going to... He's going to throw his Shuriken, and then his next basic attack is going to siphon movement speed. He missed his Shuriken, but hit us with the movement speed, and then he was able to just clean us up with the 2. So both of our deaths so far have been from the jungler rotating to our lane. Just taking a look at the scoreboard and who's building what. We see that the Afro is not going into defense, she's going into the Book of Thoth, so she's going to be stacking mana and trying to get power early on. This means she's going to be very susceptible to damage. Since we have a magical defense, that is also reducing her magical power. We can kind of eat her abilities, but she can't really eat our abilities. I mean, I guess she can, because she can just heal up. But if we can pressure her really hard while she's out of tower, we should be able to get a pick onto her. So after going into Runic Shield, we're going to go into Warrior Tabi. I think Warrior Tabi or the defensive boots are pretty viable on CuChulainn. Afro rotated out of right. We're going to go ahead and clear this wave. Looks like there's 3 people in mid and Hunbats is backing. I don't think there's a whole lot I could do even if I do rotate. So I'm going to pressure this tower a little bit. It looked like Afro peeled off into the right jungle, so I'm assuming she's heading my way right now. Just getting a few more tower pokes. Down to the last minion, we're going to go ahead and fall back. There's the Aphrodite. She misses her kiss. CuChulainn is also here. CuChulainn is very strong, so we're going to try to run away. Nope, looks like we're trying to tussle, and we should be running away. Don't run back. Go under tower. I don't know what I'm doing. It's a 2v1. Calm down. We're just gonna let the tower clear these bad boys. Looks like they're making a play for the Totem of Ku. While there's 2 people in this lane, I really should be very passive and very careful on how far I step up. Looks like CuChulainn rotated out, so we're gonna try to get some pressure onto this Aphrodite. She full cleared the wave, so we gotta fall back to tower so we get the XP from the melee minions.
We need to help our friends.
We use our 2 to prevent ourselves from
An enemy has
transforming
been slain.
into the Berserker mode. We almost have enough money for Contagion, which is going to be the next item we pick up. We're going to go ahead and use our abilities. We're about to transform. We use our 1. We're going to go ahead and knock her back. We use our ultimate, but she used her ultimate to avoid it. We get her with the basic, and we're able to clean her up. So if you look at the buffs right above your health bar, you can see an eyeball with a second counting down. That is going to be your Berserker timer. So if you're ever wondering if you have enough time in Berserker mode to get your next ability off, you can always just look at that little marker above your health bar. So if your 1 is on cooldown for 2 seconds and above the health bar you see you have 5 seconds left, that means you can position yourself to land 1 more 1 before transforming back into the normal CuChulainn. But if you only have 2 seconds and your abilities have a 5-second cooldown, you know that your best bet is to fall back. So always kind of just keep an eye on how long you're going to be in Berserker mode. Right here, we totally could have bought some potions, but it looks like we're just going to run the lane, hold off on our teleport. So with this build, we are going the Runic Shield for our magic protections, we're going Contagion for our physical protections, and then we're going to be going into the Sledge. It's going to give us a little bit of protections for both, and it's also going to give us some crowd control reduction. We see that Afro is rotating mid from the minimap. We're going to go ahead and rotate that way. CuChulainn is using his ultimate. Afro's kind of annoying, so we're just going to focus onto this Vulcan. We're going to transform very soon. We're going to go ahead and use our ultimate. Hunbats uses his ultimate. We transform, we're able to get the pick onto the Vulcan. We're going to go ahead and use our ultimate onto the Aphrodite. Hunbats goes down, now it is a 3v1. I'm going to fall back to tower. I do have a shell. There was a possibility I could have saved that Hunbats right there. I think we hit him with the 1, even though it looks like we didn't. I feel like he got stunned there, even though our line attack didn't directly hit him. So I tell Xbalanque, like, hey, they're all rotating. He says no to the retreat left lane. I'm like, okay. There's not too much more you can do to try to help somebody out. We're going to go ahead and back. Afro is going to be close to that tower. We're going to pick up the tier 2 of the Sledge, and then we're going to go ahead and teleport to the right lane. Aphrodite is not pushing the tower, so that means she probably rotated Totem of Ku for blue, or she might even be going mid. Does not look like she is proxying a wave.
Enemy missing right.
So as solo lane, one of your responsibilities is to let the team know when your enemy is not in your lane. It's kind of the responsibility of everyone if no one's in your lane. So right here we realize that no one is in the right side of the map, no one's really on the middle side of the map. We're going to try to rotate towards our team. Worst case scenario, we're going to clean up this wave in mid. We're going to go ahead and use our ultimate on the minion wave because we are about to transform back into CuChulainn.
Double kill.
Hunbats goes down.
On my way.
Nope, Hunbats is the only one left.
Yeah,
Hunbats is able to get the pick onto one.
On my way.
Thanks.
We're going to go ahead and ult this Vulcan. Use our 1. He uses his Aegis to avoid the damage. We're going to use our 3. Get a little bit of jump. We're going to vent some anger. And we're able to get the pick with a basic attack.
Attack the Gold Fury.
So right here, I make the call to go for Gold Fury. I feel like between Hunbats, myself, and the Sylvanas, we totally could have gone for it. But Hunbats wants to invade their jungle instead of going for Gold Fury. Now I just don't think that we're going to have the time to go for Gold Fury. So I start rotating away. I'm like, oh, we already missed it. And I see that they're on it. And I'm like, oh, I guess we are doing it, just super late. We're going to rotate back. And now Cthulhu's here. He does not have the best secure, but he does ult, and that is something that we need to avoid. I think the Hunbat's ultimate was able to get the Gold Fury secure. Yi uses his ultimate, that's 2 ultimates down on this left side of the map. We use our 1.
An enemy has
Great
been
damage
slain.
from Scylla. So in this game, I am playing with the Scylla and the Sylvanas, I want to say? Yes. Those are the 2 people I'm playing with. We see that these 2 are rotating in. We see that Scylla gets ulted. We're going to try to rotate back to her. We're going to go ahead and focus the CuChulainn. If we die, that's fine. We're trying to get Scylla out. We really pushed Afro and CuChulainn off the Scylla, and it looks like she was able to get out. So right there, I traded my life for the Scylla. There probably was a way I could have gotten Scylla out without trading my life, but I don't know. Whenever you're frontlining, you gotta frontline. You gotta get in there and do your stuff. Probably didn't need to die there, but we got Scylla out, so I'm gonna tell myself it was a good play.
They were warned. An ally has
So
been
after
slain.
going into the Sledge, we are going to be going into the Stone of Gaia. With CuChulainn, if we were going against a physical matchup, there is a good chance that I would have built the Warrior's Blessing, Soul Eater, Warrior Tabi, and then gone into physical defense. I think in the magical matchups, Runic Shield is so effective early on that I'm okay with postponing my form of regeneration, whether that be Soul Eater or the Stone of Gaia. If I'm going against a physical matchup, I like to get my sustain online early. We're going to try to help this still out. I don't think there's a whole lot we're going to be able to do. There's like 3 or 4 people over there, and it's just Hunbats and myself left.
Your left tower is under attack. Cancel that.
I don't know what was going on there. Just completely wasted my 1. We're going to jump in. He's pretty weak. We try to use our ultimate, but we lost Rage. Hunbats uses his ultimate, able to get the pick onto 2. Beautiful play by the Hunbats. We're going to try to stick to the CuChulainn.
You've only just begun, haven't you?
We're going to ult CuChulainn. CuChulainn is the player that we need to pick out in these team fights. I feel like he's doing the most on the enemy team. So if we can get CuChulainn out of the fight, that is huge. Hunbats is able to do just that. Now it's just Cthulhu left. He has to deal with our team, and that's going to allow us to just sneak away and back.
That'll give me an ace.
Pick up some health potions, because we don't need mana potions as CuChulainn.
Retreat left lane. Group up. Attack middle lane.
No.
So we are definitely transitioning from the mid game to the late game about now. Unfortunately, some of our teammates are a little under level. Although it looks like the enemy team is very under level as well. We're with the Sylvanas, we could totally crash onto this Vulcan. If he can get any kind of CC going, this guy's done though. We use our 1, and the Scylla is able to pick it up. Cthulhu is nearby. He just used his dash. We're going to go ahead and jump on him, start using some basics. We're about to transform. We're going to go ahead and knock him, or root him, use our pushback, use our ultimate. Did some good damage right there. We're going to try to get some basics onto this Afro. I'm going to try to make sure that Scylla stays alive. We do have our shell if we need it. We're going to go ahead and pop it. We're going to dash out. We're back to our normal form. Huntbats comes in and cleans up 2 people with his ultimate. This Huntbats had very good target selection all game.
An enemy has been slain.
We're able to clean up the Tsukiyomi, and that is a deicide.
All enemies are down.
We do want Chulainn with us before we really start pushing these structures, but we should be able to take this tower. We are very tanky, and we have a Sylvanas which has some heals, so we're not too worried about it.
Attack middle lane. Your team has destroyed
It's just the
middle
Vulcan.
enemy tower.
We have 4 people here. We should just dive him like a madman. And that's the plan. Chulainn rotates around. We get him with the 1. He uses his ultimate. We're going to jump out of the ultimate to avoid the damage. That is also a nice little thing about CuChulainn, is his jump. You can avoid damage by just jumping up and landing straight back down where you are.
Don't let me be surprised.
We make the call to go for Fire Giant after getting the tier 1 and tier 2 tower in middle lane. We're going to go ahead and start it, or we're probably going to pass it off to somebody else. Cthulhu is rotating in. We get some basics off onto Cthulhu. Hit him with the 1. He's going to go ahead and ult. We're going to kind of loop around.
You've only just begun, haven't
I don't think our best course of action is to basic attack a ulting Cthulhu. That's Chulainn's job. He can do that all day long, no problem. So, 1 more tick, and we're going to transform. We're going to go ahead and jump onto the Tsukiyomi, use our ultimate, use his ultimate. We're in our Berserker mode. We're going to go ahead and make him tremble. If we die, that's fine. We got to make sure that the Tsukiyomi gets knocked out of the fight. He goes down. I am very weak, so I think I'm going to go ahead and back. Huntbats and Chulainn are pushing the right lane. Sylvanas and Scylla are pushing mid. I feel like it probably only takes 1 person to push the right lane, and having 3 people in mid might give you a better chance of actually getting the Phoenix down.
Your team has destroyed a right enemy tower.
So the Stone of Gaia is going to have 2 passives. Every second we're going to heal 0.5% of our health. And then whenever we get knocked up, we're going to heal 15% of our health over a certain amount of time. Cthulhu has a knockup. Vulcan has a knockup. Hoi has a knockup. And I'm not sure if Aphrodite's knockback counts for Stone of Gaia, but there's a couple of ways that we could activate its first passive, and then its health regen is just gonna always be there. My out of combat healing is stronger with Stone of Gaia than my out of combat healing with Soul Eater, and then it'd be the exact opposite for in combat healing. In combat healing, Soul Eater is the way to go. And if you are trying to heal outside of combat, I mean, you can heal up off of camps and stuff, but Stone of Gaia is just going to be that continuous heal. The longer you exist, the healthier you're going to be. Right now, it is just Scylla and myself marching up mid. It's a little bit dangerous, but we do have a front line and some damage, so the fact that it is our 3 characters is probably okay. We just need to be smart. She has her dash, she's going to start falling back. My job is to stay close to her and make sure that she can get her damage off in team fights. Huntbats is looping around towards the speed. There's 4 people in mid. We're going to see if we can get them to try to focus us. Sylvanas goes in. takes a lot of damage. There's a Vulcan ult, we're gonna have to dash away.
They were warned.
Humbats cleans up 1, Humbats cleans up 2.
They're both gonna need a hospital. Now
We're
you're
gonna come
just
in, try to
showing
help
off.
this Humbats out. We're gonna ult to get the knockup onto the Afro. He's able to get the pick onto her. We're gonna pop a shell onto him. He's going to pursue the Vulcan.
Attack middle lane.
He's able to get the pick onto the Vulcan. Now we're gonna pressure the Cthulhu.
Now.
Still is able to get the pick, and the enemy team surrenders. Well, that's going to be the end of this one. If you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. The stats for this game will be posted in just a moment. If you enjoyed what you saw, check out the channel. There's a lot of Smite content there, and subscribe for more. Thank you for stopping by. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.